Good day, y'all. Once again, a week hiatus was taken, which then led to me announcing that videos will now be every other Friday for the sake of me trying to be more organized with my time. With that said, time was not on my side last week, as I spent half of the week working on June rewards for my lovely patrons, and then didn't have enough time to think of a video idea for this week. I always feel like I'm holding a stack of books on my head, then when a book gets taken off, or one gets added, I lose balance and crash to the ground. I did a poll on Instagram asking which subject should this filler episode be as I put work into the next video. Subjects were me yapping about book updates and projects I'd like to do, and me turning my cat Mango into a Pokemon for my partner's birthday. You can see one has more informative potential for those interested in projects I'm working on, and the other is purely for entertainment, which, in hindsight, I kinda sabotaged myself with by pitting these two together. But the result was actually surprising. As you gathered from the title, me yapping about my book and projects won, though it was an incredibly close call. It tied on multiple occasions, and so I will make a filler video turning Mango into a Pokemon, but that'll be kept in a vault for when I need it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to me chat and show you some random speed paints. If you are new here or haven't watched any of the 2 videos I posted discussing the basis of my book, I am working on my very first illustrated book starring my OC Gandalf the Frog, as we follow him through different scenes to get back home. The vibes of the book would be Where's Waldo and I Spy like. As it is my very first book I will publish on my own, I wanted to keep it rather simple, something I am familiar with, and that is creating somewhat detailed and cluttered scenes and throwing my frog character in there, with the hopes that someone would find him. With the inspiration and encouragement of those who enjoy my work and wish to see more, I sprung into action of turning this project into a reality. Well, on the road to turning it into a reality, the book will be filled with 15 fully illustrated scenes, being each page will be a full illustration, from top to bottom of the page. Let's play a quick game, shall we? Can you find Gandalf the Frog in these images? I'll try to give you a few seconds to spot him. Did you find him? Was it too easy, too hard, or right in the middle? I sent these same photos to family members so they can be my test subjects, and it averaged out to be easy overall. With that feedback, I decided that I must up my game and make finding Gandalf even more difficult in the book. Since this is a world in which Gandalf resides, I have yet to think of a name for this world, there will be cameos of my other characters throughout the book. I have thought of a few already and have placed them throughout my thumbnails, some of which I have yet to draw and introduce. There will still be frogs and cats scattered across all illustrations. You won't get confused though. Gandalf may be a frog, but he looks completely different from the rest. He wears clothes and has long limbs, whereas I draw the other frogs as blobs with eyes and mouths. And maybe butts. There will be an introduction to Gandalf in the beginning of the book, so everyone has a good look at the character they will be searching for as they take in the scenes. A few of my siblings who helped me out had a slightly more difficult time finding him when he was turned around, so I might do a full body rotation reference for him on that page as well. I've chosen a total of 15 scenes to draw Gandalf exploring. There's going to be scenes some are familiar with, as I have drawn them many times before, and there will be scenes that will be completely new for me to take on. As per usual, giving myself more new things to do on top of an even bigger new thing I'm doing. There will be a strawberry village, a kitchen scene, a wildflower scene, fruits and vegetable stand scene, cluttered bookshelf scene, capybara onsen scene, comfy cozy plushy filled bed scene, open patisserie scene, pond scene, mushroom village scene, underwater scene, open bakery scene, inside a tiny home scene, a dollhouse scene, and finally, Gandalf returning home scene. All of the sketches you see here are of course work in progresses and will most likely not reflect the final form of the illustrations. There may or may not be changes made as time goes on because I want this book released at the end of this year. I have to start cleaning up these thumbnails and get a move on, because it usually takes me a long while to get more detailed pieces out if I'm distracted by other things. But that's for another time. I have decided to save drawing Gandalf in the work in progresses until the very end of the completed illustration. Since I am sharing the process and the look of the illustrations, I don't want Gandalf's locations to be known, obviously. Even for my patrons, I told them Gandalf will not be shown because if they want to snag a copy of the book when it's released, I don't want them to be spoiled of his whereabouts just yet. I feel like this will be a challenge for me as well, because I'd have to find the perfect spot to place him when the drawings are finished. I at least want everyone to experience an element of surprise when the book is released. I'd love to give a final update for the book, but I think I'll keep that information to myself for now until we reach the end of this chapter. Crossing my fingers, cleaned up sketches will be done in a month or so, hopefully sooner. 15 full illustrations, both square and rectangular. Depending on how I feel when this is done, I may want to do more physical books, but short story-wise with my other characters. Who knows? Ahem. If you'd like to support the creation of the book or me in general, you can check out my Patreon, Ko-Fi, or Shop, all linked in the description. Or if you just want to tag along for the ride, you can check me out on Instagram, where I occasionally share whips in my stories or run polls asking for help because I can be very indecisive. I tend to share this quite often in videos where I draw my OCs, so almost every video. I'm hoping to create my own webcomic sometime next year. This year, I'm focusing on something somewhat in my alley, illustrated scenes with Gandalf hidden within them. But after this, I'd like to branch out of my comfort zone and create webcomics for my characters, both creature and human, or human-like, human-adjacent, humanoid? Okay. Here are the characters who exist in the world I am referencing. About a month or so ago, I dedicated some time into finally deep diving into what I want my character's world to look like. I thought of names of a few major locations that would be present within the comic, as well as what type of world they exist in. Of course, if you haven't clocked it yet, these characters exist in a world of fantasy, with magic, mythical creatures, and all that jazz. The story would take place in... Should I make this a new video solely discussing my character's world? I feel like I should do that. Okay, sorry y'all for leading you into this. I'll make the introduction to the world a separate video, because that needs its own show. Next year, I hope to make my first webcomic. I have a variety of things to decide here though. Whether I want to create a main story starring a main character or characters, and we meet all of the other characters while they go on their journey or something. And then each of those characters will have side stories both within the same comic and then maybe get their own separate comic. Or do a bunch of smaller stories. Reading this out loud though makes me lean towards the first option. I am a big fan of the webcomics Marionetta by Miriam Bannister and Nevermore by Kate Flynn and Kit Trace. And they do the following of main characters with additional backstories / side stories of other characters. And I really enjoy how that plays out story-wise, so maybe I will do the same. Issue is, I am not that good of a storyteller. If you haven't already noticed, I babble a lot. This seeps into me trying to write the backstories of my characters, as well as dialogue. It'll be a big learning experience for me to take on such a challenge, let alone project, and I want to make multiple of them? Who am I? I don't know. An overachiever, I guess. I have no idea. Maybe I'll do a come with me as I try to navigate story writing, comic illustration, character development, and world building, all within 24 hours video. I'm just kidding. Unless... Anyways, I have many informative videos saved already for me to consume and learn from, so hopefully I can give y'all some good updates when it's time. Until then, I'll continue to draw and introduce my characters so y'all can get acquainted and interested in their stories, because I'd love for y'all to get as interested in them as I am. Adding this isn't in the script, but aside from those two main projects that I have, is that I want to make a Would You Fall in Love with Me Again epic the musical animatic. That's a mouthful. Because in the beginning of this year, I know I'm late to the party, but better late than never. I have been having this in my thoughts of doing an animatic to that song with my characters Angelique and Emilia. I think it would be very beautiful, and I do want to work on like short story-esque. I've been really into shorts, like watching short stories on YouTube. I thank you so much for listening to me yap until the end, and I'll see y'all the week after next on Friday. Yes, have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. Goodbye!